Analysis with the OpenNS model is done much in the same way that the scientists analyze complex systems. The OpenNS model is based on both complexity science and complex systems analysis. The statistical analysis used in the OpenNS model is similar to the method used in the sciences, as the OpenNS model is also based on the scientific method. Though OpenNS aims to be a unified economics theory, it is a derivative work as it's based on many scientific theoretical works. The OpenNS model aims to have as much prediction value as practical with statistical analysis. To meet that goal, the logical strategy from statistical mechanics is employed. This is using the manner in which a system and/or condition has developed and/or evolved in the past to make predictions about how it might develop and/or evolve in the future. This is of course tempered with the understanding that phenomena like chaos and emergence will play a role as well. Since OpenNS studies the most complex systems that we're aware of, and the fact that we humans are limited agents, maximizing prediction value is not expected to have perfect results. Rather, the goal is to push prediction value to the limits of human capability and beyond with computer mediation and eventually artificial intelligence. Though computational systems can handle a much larger and complex workload, the interface of inputs and outputs have to be understandable by humans. To make complex systems more humanly tractable, we use nested hierarchies. This is reducing or categorizing complex systems into systems of subsystems that also have their own subsystems. Complex systems are then analyzed by how the subsystems function within and/or influence the systems as a whole. The subsystems in the overarching system make up the complex system's established complexity. New subsystems can emerge as an addition to the system's complexity, or established complexity can fail, resulting in less overall complexity in the system. Complexity can also be replaced with novel or emergent complexity when it deprecates or is driven into extinction by it. This is considered adaptation in the OpenNS model because it's based on scientific disciplines that view it similarly. OpenNS uses general systems theory with a common tuple as the mathematical model. It's integrated with the contexts of statistical mechanics and complexity science, and again tempered with the expectation of chaos and emergence. The tuple has two parts. The archetype and particular are to be compared with each other. The archetype is the theoretical expectation, and the particular is what will happen in practice. The archetype is used to make a prediction about how an admissible input might change the system, and the particular is used to observe what happens in practice when there is an input to the system. An admissible input is of course an input that will have the desired effect on the system. The only way to determine how the input will affect the system, however, is just to put it in there and see what happens. If the state of the system is the desired state, then the input is shown to be admissible. So, over time, an input to the system will produce an output that will render the system in a particular state. If the input is admissible, there will be a transition to that observed output. The way OpenNS handles risk management is with an evolutionary model. This, of course, aligns with statistical mechanics as well. The explanation of the mathematical model is, It weighs the disorder in the system against the productive and adaptive influences in the system. If the disorder outweighs the productive and adaptive influences to a critical degree, the system is likely to fail, and risk of failure is of course what is intended to be managed. In order for systems to be capable of adaptation, they must be flexible. This is what is meant by the term dynamic systems. In economics, it's a bit like free market economics and classical economics because it warns against imposing rigid policies on the economy. The main difference is dynamic systems is more about an economy's ability to adapt to the changes that occur over extended periods of time. So it's more about convenient coincidence with free market economics than alignment with it. Either way, they both warn against imposing rigid incentives on the markets for a very important reason. OpenNS suggests coordination with governance with the principles of polyocracy. Because systems tend to be integral, the functions of each and every subsystem is important to the overall function of the system. As argued with the nested hierarchies, the various subsystems influence each other. Neglect of established complexity can result in dysfunction in the system as a whole, and this has been observed to be the case in practice. The OpenNS model is an integrated model with tools that are designed to function well with each other as they do in the sciences. It's a scientific systems approach that is also polyocratic in its own right. Over the past several years, it has produced a high level of prediction value, and it's my intention to improve on that. Thank you very much for your time.